Welcome, friends, to the third episode of Sensei Sethlon's Study. As I've been saying in some of the two past episodes, I do want to get some of my matches in here as analysis because just partially to help other role players out there, and partially just because it is much easier for me to explain my own mindset and what it is that I'm looking for whenever I'm doing things, as opposed to trying to guess what other people are doing. So, for this match, I wanted to do me versus Junebug at Aftershock. This is the grand finals of the tournament. Junebug coming up through losers bracket. This Roy versus Diddy Kong is a pretty interesting matchup because, in a lot of ways, they're pretty similar, at least head to head. Diddy Kong, he gets pretty good low percent combos off of up throw. Roy does the same thing. Diddy Kong can get at high percents if he guesses his opponent's DI correctly, can get a down throw into forward air, or forward air and forward throw into forward air. And Roy can get kind of similar stuff, like down throws into F smashes and F throws into back airs, etc., etc. Both edge guardings, both recoveries are fairly good, but can both just die if you hit them in the right spots. What it really boils down to is neutral game, whether or not Diddy Kong can get banana control. Banana control is really what Diddy Kong's all about, because he becomes, without a banana, he's an okay character. With a banana, he becomes one of the best in the game. And so a lot of the game in this matchup is Roy trying to shut the banana down, trying to find a way to get in through Diddy Kong's zoning and shut down any attempts of the Diddy Kongs to actually get a banana out. Set up right. And here we go.
Hero of Dallas, Sethlon. Sethlon is an amazing guy.
Stadium 2 actually is, in my opinion, kind of a scary stage for this matchup because it's so long. There's so much room for Diddy Kong to get away and get the time to pull a banana safely. And for example, right here, we both of us understand what's going to be happening. Immediately, I drop down and bolt straight at him, and he drops down and pulls a banana immediately out.
Look up playing with fire.
Yeah, and really intelligent use of Junebug to go up in the air with full hops for the bananas, because obviously I can't down tilt him up there. Here's a trick I want to show. Whenever bananas are on a platform like this, it actually sets up for really good positioning to jump up and catch the banana with an air dodge, and then immediately cancel into a throw and air dodge downwards, and that way you get downwards momentum as you're picking it up and immediately throwing it down. It's a really good way to be running around and transitioning quickly on the ground and just immediately throw an item in the meantime. So here, Junebug, this is actually the prime place Roy wants to be. Whenever he's got his opponent inside down tilt range, you hit their shield with the down tilt, and he's outside of grab range. It's really difficult to attack Roy from that position. If he tries to shield grab, he will probably miss. At this position, he might clip some of my hurt boxes at the end, but he's probably going to miss, and that means I could do anything I want to him. Oftentimes another down tilt, and get tons of damage, or just raw F-smash him and get 20% that way, which could also potentially lead to just stocks disappearing if he's not DIing correctly. So this is actually one of the best positions for Roy to be in. And there are a couple things he could do offensively, he could drop shield and try and poke at me, or drop shield and try and crouch cancel something, or forward air out of shield. But instead, since I'm in a good position, I have the banana behind me, he can't really get to it, he decides to simply roll away. Which is a pretty good decision in this situation. I fell back and just grabbed the banana. So if he did something else defensively, then say spot dodge, or just sit and shield, then he'd be in a pretty bad spot. This situation creates a lot of space. From this distance away, I can't actively threaten him. If I do throw the banana, it's gonna go so, and probably not gonna hit him from this distance. The only way for it to actively hit would be to approach closer first and get to right here, and then throw the banana, which he could potentially counter hit. Another interesting thing is about this matchup. Normally, whenever you're holding an item, you're pretty limited in what you can do, because obviously any A input turns into throwing a banana. Interesting thing about Roy is that he still has access to his side B. Side B is a great poke. It's really fast, the hitbox is huge. Let's see if I can get a... Oh, it broke. Please. There we go.
This grand finals at Aftershock. We've had an incredible tournament. Those of you who are watching it on YouTube, I highly encourage you to watch forward smash, and that's going to be this. He's not just a smash on Roy in this game. Make sure you hit up Smashboards, look up Playing with Fire, because this man's read is impractical. And because, you know, he also is not only, he's not just a Smash player, he plays all the other fighting games. He is incredible.
Okay. And cut in. So you see all this space right here. That's all hitboxes. Like, it hits a huge radius, controls a lot of space. So it's a pretty good move to still have access to whenever you're holding a banana. Because there are a ton of different things you can do. I mean, you can, from this distance, he could technically shield grab me, but he has to be wary of me continuing the combination and just hitting him out of it, or potentially, like, continuing through the dances and then stabbing backwards to try and get away, make some space. And overall, it's a really good thing to be able to do, to have access to really good sword attacks while still keeping control of the banana itself. He does actually shield grab me. I didn't expect him to be running in as deep. And here is another interesting item use. So, as mentioned, you know, obviously I can't... And I'm in a pretty bad situation at this point in time. I'm at frame disadvantage because I'm coming out of hit stun. Doesn't quite combo. But there are lots of things that Junebug could be doing at this point in time. He could be like dash attacking off. He could be jumping up with a nair to try and catch my double jump, which would be going this way. And he could just drop down in forward air to try and cover the fast fall timing, or just drop down and wait for me to tech if I potentially tech and punish there. So in this situation, it would be really nice to have access to my normal A attacks. So I mean, I could up air and like cover all this space. I could forward air to try and get him off me if he's fast falling below. And so the way that I do that, to be able to do that, is I double jump and press the Z button, which drops the banana. The banana is no longer in my hand, and then I can do an attack. And this is nice for two reasons. One, because the banana is no longer in my hand, and I can do an attack. And two, the banana, as you can see here, actually does control space and do things like it actively puts out a hitbox that controls space as well. So it's these two actually combo into each other, and I get a pretty good conversion off of it. So here, Junebug DI'd in a little bit too far. And in this situation, I'm pretty sure this situation came up a couple times also in the Sora vs. Ripple match. He's not actually in hit stun once he hits about this point in time, maybe even a little bit higher, but he wants to get here. He wants to grab the ledge because the ledge is safe. He could technically double jump, but then I could, like, that puts him in a position where he would be around here, and I could rise with a full hop forward air and cover all this space. I could rise with a neutral air and cover all this space. I could just sit here and wait for him to come down and potentially, like, F smash or up tilt So this is the most safe position to be in. So he wants to get to that position. And my F smash catches him before he gets there. He may have been pulling back so that he could double jump back up and grab the ledge, which is a fairly safe option. But since he DI'd the forward air in, he's in a pretty low arc as far as how close to the stage he is. Yeah, so it's actually pretty difficult to deal with Diddy Kong as he comes down from the platform, because he basically gets a free banana. It's technically possible to grab the banana as he's throwing it and try to dash away with it, but considering the fact that he's invulnerable and that he doesn't have too much end leg on the end of the banana throw, it's pretty difficult to get away with. So you basically have to deal with the banana pressure whenever he gets down. And he gets a really good conversion. Banana throw, forward air, which puts me in a pretty bad spot. So this is actually a pretty good setup that he does. He uses this, a variation of this, throughout most of the game, setting up the banana throw to come down. Bananas, if you don't already know, actually do have knockback growth in 3.5 whenever you hit an opponent who's in the air, which means that it's actually a pretty scary threat against opponents at high percent. So he throws a banana like that, grabs the ledge, and the banana is covering this space, which makes it so I have to up B and not get hit by there. So normally, what I would want to do in this position is drop really low and then sweet spot. But since the banana is covering that space, instead, I have to drop down, pull back a little bit, and up B almost straight up, and then, as I'm entering into special fall forward a little bit and snap to the ledge. Which wasn't not quite that far out as I showed in the drawing, but you get the point. So this is a deceptively bad position to be in, right here. So back turned with your opponent behind you when you're shielding is a really bad place to be. Because you can't shield grab them, because obviously your shield grab is over here. So which means that they can do basically anything they want to your shield, and it's very difficult to do anything about it. Like Roy especially doesn't cover behind him very well. Like he has back air out of shield, but it hits pretty high and isn't incredibly fast. He has down air out of shield, which hits a really wide area, but has very little knockback, base knockback and knockback growth, so it can be crouch cancelled and punished. And will oftentimes tip in this situation, which does very little to a grounded opponent. And so my best option is to just leave. Just get out of here. And so I wave dash out of shield, and Junebug covers that with a dash in down smash, which is a really good option. I started to side B there, but you see his down smash came out first. Roy and many other characters have a really strong ledge dash, which is obviously just whenever you're holding the ledge, you let go, immediately double jump, and then air dodge onto the stage. And Roy's is exceptionally good. He can, a lot of characters, if you do it correctly, you'll have some invulnerability whenever you land on stage. Roy can get quite a bit of that. So I wave on the stage. You can see I'm still invulnerable here, and my shield is already coming up. So his back air gets blocked pretty easily. That's one of the safer ways to get on stage, since if you do it correctly, like shown here, you aren't vulnerable until your shield actually comes up, which means the only way that your opponent can possibly hurt you is if they grab you. And depending on the character, that might not be too scary. A lot of characters just have positional throws, as Marth forward throwing you here isn't very scary, because you can just DI off stage and look for a sweet spot. Yeah, I try to get the shield grab, but he rolls away. Here's another thing that people who don't know how Diddy Kong and items in general work might be confused by. So there's a technique in Brawl called glide tossing, which is essentially starting up a roll and canceling in the middle of your roll with an item throw. and depending on the character, depending on the role that you're using, can have a pretty big effect on your character's movement. So in this example, Junebug's rolling right and canceling that into glide toss downwards, which results in a downward item throw, of course, and him sliding behind me, which trips. The banana, if you do it correctly in some situations, if you throw it straight down, it actually won't directly hit your opponent. It'll just hit, like, it won't hit their, like, say, this is me. It won't hit my hitboxes that are actually there. It'll just immediately hit the ground. And whenever a banana is on the ground, you can, if you're, in close vicinity to it, you automatically trip. And in some situations, even whenever you're shielding, you can just not hit your shield at all and go straight to your feet and just immediately trip, because you can still be tripped when you're in shield. It's a good response from him for the glide toss. Good jab down smash. So, this actually is an interesting situation. So this space is really scary to be in whenever your opponent, Diddy Kong, has a banana in his hand, because of the formation that Junebug's about to do. He doesn't actually do it here. The peanut will shoot and go like this, which covers a lot of space, and Diddy Kong has the ability to air dodge out of his banana shoot. Sorry, peanut shot. So we can short hop, neutral B, shoot out a peanut, wave land on the way down, and cancel the wave land into a banana throw, which also covers, like, this space. So, dealing with both is extremely difficult, because you can shield one, but if you do shield the peanut, then the banana's coming immediately afterwards, so you're in more shield stun, and Diddy Kong has shield advantage, because now you block the banana. He can do things. He can run up and grab, you can run up and aerial grab the banana and throw it at you, you can run up and down tilt, grab, down smash, forward air, anything. It's a really bad place to be, which is the reason why I wave landed up here and just waited on the platform. Junebug likes to call this the Soul Fist, similar to what Morrigan does in Marvel vs. Capcom. Really good setup here by Junebug. So he jumps up to avoid the potential get-up attack, and from that position goes into a side B grab. And that isn't technically fast enough to punish the get-up attack, but it does beat shield, which is going to be what most people's immediate reaction to whiffing a get-up attack will be. It gets a pretty good combo off of it, pretty good damage. Lots of damage. Yeah, there you see, here's the Soul Fist formation I mentioned. So he runs backwards. In this situation, he's B reversing the peanut gun. And so this is going here. And then the peanut, and then the banana goes straight across, which is a lot of space to cover. And in this situation, I think I tried to jump out of shield, or wave dash backwards and like get back far enough that the banana wouldn't hit me and just take the peanut shot, but I didn't get far enough. Yep, and there's the throw mix-up that I was talking about that Diddy Kong has. If you down throw and your opponent is DIing in towards the stage, you can get follow-ups off of that, even at pretty high percent. Here you can see the example of how good a poke double edge dance is. Even when your opponent's this high up in the air. Even if he was on the platform, it may have nicked him. Like it's very good at hitting opponents that are coming down or hanging around in this spot from Roy. Yeah, and it's a little weird to try and get a conversion off of the double edge stance in that situation, because since he was so far away, if he had DI'd out, then the follow-up wouldn't connect it, so I just did the single tap. Single tap double edge dance is actually really, really good because it makes the use of it as a poke and like long range, and even if you don't cancel it into anything, it's got pretty relatively low cooldown, so you can do stuff like down tilt or go back to dash dancing or going for a grab if your opponent is getting scared and just sitting there shielding. Pretty unsafe banana pull by Junebug there. Yeah, so right here, I grabbed the ledge and double jumped and re-grabbed the ledge to make it look like I wanted to hold the ledge occupancy against his up B to try and force him up onto stage. And then instead of jumping and re-grabbing the ledge again, I jumped onto stage and used neutral B to cover the on-stage option instead, which is a pretty strong option against Diddy Kong. It's kind of difficult for him to sweet spot in these sort of situations. If he does hold it for a really long time and like doesn't make a decision, then he has to go really low, and I could potentially just release the neutral B and grab the ledge again. But yeah, charge does actually survive. Kind of poor spacing on the down tilt there. Technically, down tilt is safe on block if you totally know that your opponent is going to try and shield grab you. If you do a frame perfect jab afterwards, it will beat a frame perfect shield, but only by like 1 frame. So yeah, and it depends on like if your opponent does know that you're going to jab, they can just simply shield the jab and then get a guaranteed shield grab. Kind of odd interaction there with Diddy Kong going underneath the banana throw. And you see here, so I whiff a dash attack. So I'm expecting him to punish me somehow. He sets up the neutral out of shield, and I guess I'm trying to wave dash out. I'm not sure what that was. He interrupts me with whatever it was with a jab, but I'm already holding down. So even at a high percent, ASDI down, crouch canceling, essentially, will pull me down, and now it's ready to down smash. So even at really high percents, with jabs like Diddy Kong that don't really have growth, you have to be careful. Yeah, nice little tech there. Whenever you're off stage, you can aerial glide toss upwards to, if you have an item, to get a little bit of a boost. You see it? So this is a situation a lot of players aren't really familiar with. So you do the double edge dance, you do the third swing, it whiffs, they're way over here. And a lot of times they'll try to take control of this space, whether it's like moving in or dash dancing back and forth. And they often don't respect one of the options that Roy has, which is the fourth swing side from double edge dance, which has a huge arc. Like, it controls a ton of space, probably a little bit higher than this actually, like around there. Junebug, however, does actually know about that, and did respect it in this situation. So instead of trying to contest space, do things like counter hit me, he just sat there and waited, and punished with that smash. It's really smart.
With the perfect spacing, you knew exactly how far that double edge dance would go, waited for Sethlon to carry it out, and then punished it with that forward smash. So
Combo from Junebug. So here's a thing I'd like to talk about.
forward smash. So good.
Whenever you have someone in this position, oftentimes, like he's just out of distance. You see, like I wave dash in, my wave dash stops here. I can't actually down tilt him. Like he's out of max down tilt range. I can't technically follow it up with a grab either. He's just too far away for me to get the dash grab. So instead, I dash and then dash backwards a little bit, just a small dash dance, to try and see what it is he's going to do. If he's thinking to like instantly spot dodge or instantly roll, then if he instantly spot dodges, he'll spot dodge at like the first frame possible, and then I'll run back and run forward, and the grab will still connect. If he runs behind me, then I can just not do the grab after I dash forward, and I'll be in a pretty good position. I can dash again and potentially pressure him or follow up, if depending on his reactions over here. And small micro adjustments like this is a big part of really, really high level Smash. Just like testing the waters with something really tiny, and going from there. So he's right there. He doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't spot dodge after the second dash or try and roll or anything. So I take advantage of that and grab him.
Oh, Sethlon wants to make this comeback. He has to do it quickly. He has to take the stock out as fast as he can. He's already knocked out of that percent.
Yeah, so this percent, I'm looking for some sort of kill setup. Yeah, down tilt to back air would have killed him if he did get hit by any of those down tilts I just put up.
That was ridiculous by Junebug.
Yeah, this actually was almost a really good play. So I'm trying to get the banana to go off stage just barely to cover the double jump to grab the ledge. But I'm a little bit too far back whenever I do it, and instead it hits the ledge. If it had gone a little bit further off, I may have killed him, and that may have been like a potential comeback situation for this game. And again, didn't DI the down throw correctly. And had an opportunity to tech here. Had a pretty good coverage of the ledge. He could have actually just held the ledge and I would have been dead. But chooses to go for the spike. And I could have teched. I just was not prepared for it. So, going into game 2, Junebug bans WarioWare and Battlefield, which are both pretty good Roy stages, both small, pretty easy for Roy to bully people with his long range, since there isn't very much room to get away from him. It's very easy to cut off sections of the stage and stop your opponent from moving around as Roy. So, this actually leaves a pretty good number of stages that I like personally. Oh, that's... Let's just redo this, shall we? So, Junebug bans Fountain of Dreams and Battlefield. Both pretty good Roy stages. Battlefield, not as good as Fountain of Dreams. Fountain of Dreams is potentially Roy's best stage in the game. They're both really small, both easy for Roy to cut off sections of the stage with his range and just lock his opponents down. Fountain of Dreams is especially nice because on top of getting that sort of lockdown, he also gets a lot of forward smash setups because of the platforms. Unlike Marth, on most stages he can't actually reach the platforms with his F smash, but since the Fountain of Dreams platforms get really low, you can do stuff like down throw or forward throw them onto it. And they basically only have two options as far as decking is concerned, in or out. And it's pretty easy to cover those with forward smashes. It gives really good kill power, and also has really small sides, so those forward smashes will kill pretty early. This still does leave some of my favorite stages open, though. Outside of Fountain of Dreams, Yoshi's Island Brawl is a pretty good Roy stage. For various reasons, I might get into that later. WarioWare is also pretty good for the same reasons that Fountain of Dreams is, although the platforms can become kind of problematic for Roy if opponents start hanging out on the top platforms. It can be really difficult to do your thing to them. Green Hill Zone is probably my other, outside of Fountain of Dreams, my favorite Roy stage. It's pretty small, so again, it's easy for Roy to, cage people in. It's got a pretty high ceiling, so opponents have a harder time killing Roy off the top, whereas Roy's generally won't be killing them off the top, and does have small sides. And because it doesn't have any platforms, it removes some sort of platform pressure in some situations, but it also makes it so his down tilts and up throws are pretty potent. So I'm going to end up taking him to Green Hill Zone. Green Hill Zone is also a stage that I've had a lot of success on against Diddy Kong. This Green Hill Zone is one of Luck's favorite stages, but he no longer allows me to take him to it because I've had some pretty decisive victories against him. Good down tilts, Junebug doing a pretty good job of not caving and intelligently avoiding the pressure, not getting impatient. And that's pretty good damage, though. Already at 70%. That forward smash actually would have killed me if I did not DI it perfectly. And this is an interesting thing. I don't recall if this happened in the first match, but so one of the difficult problems of edgeguarding Roy is he's got all of these hitboxes. Whenever he up Bs, like this entire area is just covered in hitboxes. So it's very difficult to hold the ledge against him. So a thing that Strongbad likes to do, that Junebug's also trying out here, is whenever they're grabbing the ledge, rather than trying to let go of the ledge, drop down, and then double jump back up to grab it, they'll double jump and go outwards. So they're moving their hitboxes back here. So the standard sweet spot for up B would not hit them. I think I'd seen Junebug do this a couple times, and I've also had experience of reacting to this sort of situation against Strongbad and other players, so I knew to up B straight up instead. And while this isn't a really safe up B, so obviously I'm going straight up and then I'm going to have to fall to grab the ledge, I'm not sweet spotting, but I will catch him out of his double jump so that he won't be able to get back to the ledge and ledge hog, which is the main problem in this situation. So if he does ledge hog me here, I actually just die. Like, I'm dead. Doesn't matter what percent I'm at.
Oh, you should have just spiked him.
And get the down tilt edge guard, but can't really convert off of it.
Really, really early if you intend on taking out a swordsman. Because if they have
Oh yeah, and that right there is a good example of one of the reasons why this is such a good Roy stage. Roy doesn't actually have that much explosive kill power like Marth does. Like, he can kill you with forward smashes, but as long as you DI it correctly, usually you'll be okay. But since this stage's sides are so small, you can catch your opponents with stuff like that that will end their stocks pretty early. Pretty good soul fist thing by Junebug. That was actually really good. Good conversions. So yeah, and those sort of combos, it's actually, like, it's a lot of damage, but in my mind, I don't really care how much damage they do to me, so much as I care about surviving at the end of it. Like, Roy's a character that, if your opponent does do their combo correctly and catch your DI wrong, they can just instantly kill you. So, yeah, as long as I'm alive at the end of the combo, I'm usually okay with it. Almost got put in a very terrible position because of that aggressive edge guard.
But he needs to get closer to that hilt if he wants to get that hilter. What do you want to call that? The hilter, the sweet spot. The hilter, that sweet spot.
So here's another example of the dropping the banana and using aerials to control space. So if I hadn't, if I had just moved forward and thrown a banana, he might have been able to trade with it with his forward air or just catch it on the way down and then potentially punish me.
Not to be confused with the tipper that Marth has, because remember, Marth's sweet spot is at the tip, whereas Roy's sweet spot is at the hilt. Oh, wow, that was great.
So here is an example of something I talk about in my Roy guide, is using resources efficiently. So let's see. So because Junebug, he ran off stage and did a double jump back air. This seems like a pretty safe option, but it's really not. Because if he gets hit out of it, he loses. He no longer has a double jump. And as you can see here, I hit him with the backwards banana throw, which, you know, has good growth, and he's at 70%. So he gets knocked off stage. And if he had his double jump here, he would have lots of options. He could double jump and air dodge. He could double jump. Here, we'll get some markers up in here. He could double jump and then like air dodge onto stage, in which case he'd be invulnerable all through here. He could fall and double jump and grab the ledge, in which case I'd have to invade like super low to try and hit him out of that. He could just drop super, super low and then up B or double jump up B. But because he doesn't have his double jump, he only has one option. And that one option is up B. Which, in this situation, is not very difficult to cover. I know he's going to be out of hit stun whenever he gets around right here. I could do something like run off stage and double jump down air, or I could run off and forward air. But since he has so few options, I have a pretty good idea of what he's going to do, and so I go for the harder read of Flare Blade, which will kill at that percent on this stage, off stage.
So clean by Sethlon. See what else he can do.
So in that situation, I just decided to, I haven't had too much success with hitting June with a banana, like the banana counterplay, so I just decided to throw it off stage instead, which ended up being pretty good, because I get pressure, I get damage. The down tilt combo puts on tons of damage, because he had to use the opportunity to pull on another banana. That's what I got. Yep, and I did not DI correctly there, which is another example of why DI is incredibly important for recovering Roy, is that you have so few options, and like, getting pushed that far down, Roy can't recover that far if he's not high up.
Input for that bear to connect might cost him down tilt. Oh my goodness. Bear.
So yeah, here's a good example of why Roy's down tilt is a really strong position. I'm actually not true crouch canceling here. I'm actually in the middle of my down tilt. But because I'm at such low percent, and I'm automatically ASDI down whenever he down tilts me, I get the punish and kill. That position, he probably shouldn't have down tilted there. He could have like down smash, which probably would have knocked me out of the soft crouch canceling, or he could have grabbed, or he could jump and try and set up a forward air or pull bananas, etc. Here, I was actually hoping for runoff double jump down air, but I saw as I was setting it up that he's too far back. Like here's the edge of the stage here. So if I had jumped up and down aired him, he could have easily just went straight down and landed on the stage, which is not exactly where I wanted to be. If he was like a smidgen over, then the down air might have worked and probably wouldn't have killed him. This percent, it doesn't actually have very much base knockback, so he would have been able to double jump and like wall jump and up B and make it back fine. But it would set up a position, like a good position where I might be able to edge guard him and put on some damage at least. But I see that he's too far back in, so I go for back air instead. 10% or less. 10% or more. Which apparently he wasn't expecting because he doesn't tech.
Oh, that aggression kind of tough, but he gets the grab. He's really looking to close this. Oh,
so here's one of the options for side B. At this point in time, side B is really good if you stop it on their shield after the second swing, because more often than not, they have to respect the third swing, because the third swing could potentially kill him. Like if he tries to like spot dodge or something, or like jump out of shield and down air, and I hit him with it, if he doesn't DI correctly at this percent on this stage, he might just die. So I tried to go for the third swing as well, and I'm not sure why, honestly. I might have just been trying to put pressure on his shield, because his shield was decently low, and it's pretty safe to do so from behind. But the third swing up is actually a really fast option for the fourth swing. It's only a little bit slower than the fourth swing down, but is a lot more reliable as far as hits go. It's got a strong singular hit that also hits like pretty high. Yep, like it's a good anti-air. So even here, like it actually trades, but it's a trade in my favor because of how much damage, and it leaves with me on the ground and him in a bad position in the air. Here is something. So here, so I get the down tilt. And this is technically an unsafe down tilt. Even point blank where the sweet spot hits, down tilt is -5 on shield. But a lot of times people won't shield grab that frame perfectly, because obviously that's a pretty hard thing to do, because of the nature of shield stun and having lots of stuff happen in very quick succession. So I actually have time to turn around. I think there may have been a dash for a frame or two there, which was actually enough to put me outside of his grab range and start a very quick pivot forward smash. Because I know in a lot of situations players will be trying to shield grab in that situation because it looks so unsafe. It's technically unsafe, but if they don't do it perfectly, then they eat the forward smash and die. Even on a bigger stage at 100%, he wouldn't have survived at that high percent if he didn't DI correctly. And a lot of times people won't DI correctly in that situation because it's so surprising.
Actually, it's not too hard, because believe it or not, Brother June, he's not my twin, but he's one of those brown bros. Oh yeah, for sure, dude. That brown representation in grand finals.
So, game 3, he banned those two, and I'm banning Dreamland because Dreamland's Roy's, like, worst stage. And FD because I'm actually not sure if FD is the right ban choice here, because FD gives him a really wide stage to work and get banana control, and like his up throw combos are pretty good. but it also gives Roy lots of room to dash dance and lots of upward space to do my sort of combos. So it might have actually been a better choice to ban Distant Planet instead of FD, but that's one thing I'm not really sure of. But I'm fairly comfortable with Distant Planet. It's actually it's an alright stage overall. Platforms can disrupt things sometimes, but it's usually not a big deal. So right at the very beginning of the match, I rush him to try and put pressure on him so he can't get bananas out. Right there, he does manage to get enough room. That's one of the reasons why wide stages like this are good for Diddy Kong, because he can run so far away that even though he'll pull out a banana peel and be at negative, you still won't be able to punish him. Good down smash punish for the air dodge. Yeah, that's actually a really good mix-up by Junebug. So normally, whenever Diddy Kong's in this position, he's going to run back and he's going to pull a banana peel because that's what he wants to be doing. There's enough room for him to do it. But instead, he runs and B reverses a peanut to disrupt me from moving into his space and punishing him for the banana peel. Which is a good call. Gives him enough momentum that he can actually get the peel out safely and continue his pressure.
Ooh, that slip up could have really cost Sethlon. Gets a grab before it instead.
Good up throw conversion. Here, let me talk about this for a sec. So this is actually a sort of option select that Marth would use a lot of the times in melee to cover tech chases. The down throw, turn around, and down tilt to cover the tech in place. And oftentimes, Marth will still have enough time to turn around and get the grab if they teched in as well. Which doesn't work as well with Roy. It's not quite perfect in most situations that I've found, but it's still pretty strong because of the nature of Roy's down tilt being a strong combo move, and the fact that if they don't have a really quick defensive option to get out of there after they start shielding, then they get grabbed again.
Gets the grab before it instead. Oh, he's really trying to push Junebug right off of the stage.
Pretty unsafe down air there by me. Not too surprising that he gets the grab punish. So here,
Junebug right off of the stage, but June gets the grab. Nice down throw.
So I side B here because I expect that he's going to ledge drop and then re-grab the ledge. And I want to stall out his legend vulnerability as long as possible. So I side B, and then double jump. And at this point in time, he basically has to either get back on stage or eat my up B. If he knew that I was going to try and stall down here, he could actually have dropped and back-aired instead, using his legend vulnerability, and I'd probably be dead. Diddy Kong's back air isn't the greatest gimp move, but I am at 134%, and I am Roy. So if he had caught me before my double jump, I'd probably be dead. But instead he chooses to back off, play it relatively safe. And I grab the ledge. Yeah, they're actually trying to do a down tilt, turn around down tilt there. Get the down angled forward tilt instead. Yeah, and here you can see a pretty good example of what I'm talking about. The first tap side B being pretty good. You don't necessarily have to combo for it to put you in an advantageous situation. Start up another side B string. And I didn't actually expect the second one to hit. I was just going to do 1-2 and then stop. I don't know what he tried to do. He may have tried to jump. He may have tried to grab out of shield. So I clip him with the second one. And now he's actually a lot closer than I want him to be. I don't want to be right here on top of him, because that means none of my moves are safe. Anything that I hit his shield with could potentially be shield grabbed. So I react by slipping behind him and then setting up more side Bs. And again, he tries to do something out of shield that I clip him with, and this time I continue it with the whole combination. And that is one thing you can do with the bananas, use them against Diddy Kong if they get them. It's pretty easy to hit him if you know when he's going to up B. Yeah. Here, good example of when the fourth swing down is useful. So in a lot of situations right here, you would want to be using fourth swing up because it would reach, like up here. It's probably still going to hit his shield, even if he doesn't do anything. But since he has the banana peel in his hand, he's probably not going to be jumping. He's going to want to either glide toss backwards and throw the banana this way, or just straight up throw it, which would put him closer to me. And to beat that, I'd want to hit down here rather than up here. And the fourth swing downwards technically comes out a couple frames faster than the upswing, and it also covers all this space. So, yeah, I chose to use that option instead. Also partially because if he does still keep shielding, the fourth swing will hit, have its multi-hits happen here, and oftentimes that will push opponents off the stage, which will obviously make it much safer. Sometimes, actually, I've had it where the step forward pushes opponents back a little bit, and then the first couple multi-hits push them off stage, and they actually get caught by the final hits, which is obviously a nice thing to happen.
Burn, baby, burn. Interesting double-edged dance there.
Yeah, good ledge stall here by Junebug. Yeah, using the opportunity. If I had ledge hop down air, like I probably should have, I may have flipped him out of this, but the air dodge up is still a pretty good attempt to get back on stage. Yeah, and not sure what the whip. I was probably trying to turn around the down smash to cover the stage, but he drifted back and grabbed the ledge instead. Pretty good damage from Junebug, but kind of unfortunate there, not knowing when to end his combo. Gets clipped by the down air, which will set up for the kill back air. Yep, trying to get the turnaround grab there. Didn't quite input it correctly. It's interesting, looking at my own videos, at least this set, how many input errors there actually are, how many things I could actually be doing better. Yeah, another good example of the of down tilt being deceptively safe on block. He could actually shield grab me here, but now he's since he got forward smashed because of it earlier in the set, he's scared of trying to do that option. And in fact, if he had tried to grab me, I may have hit him with the side B if he didn't do it like frame perfectly. But one swing of side B, pretty fast, not too unsafe. He tries to punish with down smash, but he's too far away, and I punish the whiff down smash with that smash. And he's still holding down at that point in time, so his DI is pretty not survival DI. So this is an interesting thing that a lot of people I think don't consider enough. So it's kind of ambiguous whether or not I'd be able to shield grab him at this position, since he's so far away. So what I decided to do instead is simply drop shield and down tilt, which actually is, drop shielding in general is a bit more viable in Project M than it is in Melee. In Melee, to stop shielding and go back into neutral is a total of 16 frames. In Project, which is a lot, like 16 frames is huge as far as out-of-shield options are concerned. In Project M, though, it's only 12. So while you're probably not going to truly punish most things by shielding, dropping shielding, and doing stuff, it's still a good way to transition into other things you'd want to do. Like, I could drop shield in this situation. I could have, instead of drop shield down tilting, I could jump out of shield and, like, forward air, which would clip him even when he's that low. But he's at 0%. So he's probably going to crouch cancel, and I'm probably going to get blown up for it. So instead I tried to drop shield and down tilt. And unfortunately it only clips him with the tip of down tilt, which I guess should be technically the same as the blade in Project M, unless the damage calculates into that in some way, I don't know. But yeah, he does crouch cancel anyways, and since I only catch him with the tip, he does. His down tilt does whiff, but my follow-up afterwards isn't very good. So I accidentally picked up a peanut here. Just see when exactly I picked it up. So he does the Soul Fist, neutral B, air dodge, banana. And I actually was just wanting to get onto the platform to just be up here above, all of his banana shenanigans. And wave landing right here caught the peanut that was right like this. So the grab box for air dodging is actually pretty big. So I'm actually in a bit of a pickle for this situation because I don't have access to attacks because I have a peanut in my hand. So I have to actually have to throw the peanut at him to get it out of my hand. I could jump and see, but that'd be pretty unsafe. And eventually he does smash me with the forward air. Yeah, pretty good example here of down air not being safe on shield. If he didn't have a banana in his hand, it wouldn't be too unsafe. He'd at most he'd be able to like back air me, but I'd be able to crouch cancel that. But bananas cannot be crouch canceled. Pretty good conversion off of the tip down tilts. So, Nair on the platform is actually a really good option that Roy has to tech chase people. So if you see all that glorious coverage. Starts here, it will hit like the mist tech or sometimes the tech in place. Reaches all the way around, covering the tech behind, and reaches all the way forward, covering the tech away. A lot of times, if you do this correctly, if you set up the neutral layer at the proper time, you can actually cover all tech options. Which is obviously a pretty good thing. Not a huge reward, but consistent. Yeah, see there, I spaced the Nair a little bit too far back. Here is actually a pretty good idea by Junebug. So rather than trying to attack me down here where it's pretty unsafe for him, or doing the same thing he's been doing, which is grabbing the ledge and then eventually getting too afraid of the up B, clipping him and doing bad things, he goes for a low side B. And the side B is active for a very, very long time. And because of the fact that his hitboxes on the side B are pretty low, he can actually land on top of my body before the hitboxes reach him. And I tried to tech this here, but too low. And just was not ready for it, I guess. Some break. Cool.
Wow. That was the gift that he needed.
Yeah, and that, like the commentators say, that is the gimp that he needed. That was a really big turnaround. And now that makes it so I'm sort of on the ropes. And I need to finish this stock soon. Otherwise he's going to be getting me to high percent. And potentially just finishing me off with one kill move on his last stock. And right here, he actually... I don't know if he did this with the intention of punishing my runoff, or he was probably just trying to get to the ledge. But he gets the side B grab again. And this time, I've got the timing down a little bit better, so I do successfully tech it. And I still have my double jump, so I can double jump up. And then recover safely. But I have a lot of damage now. That was a lot of damage. Yeah, now I basically need to kill him now. I was very fortunate that the down throw comboed into the tip down tilt. Yeah, pretty rough situation here. Since any hit of his could lead to death, and any hit of mine is probably not going to kill him. Probably just going to rack up damage, and I'll need like a couple really good conversions to actually put him into the percent where I can finish him off. So here was actually a really big missed opportunity from him. If he had down smashed the correct direction, it probably would have hit me and I'd probably be dead. If he had drop aired and like back aired, there are so many things he could have done to punish my whiffed up B. I thought he was going to go to the ledge, so I up B'd a little bit early to try and like control this space so he couldn't get down and either get to the ledge or hit me with a down air or something else. I misspaced it a little bit, but normally whenever Roy tries to counter hit that sort of spot, to like offstage edge guarding, you want to go straight up and then land on the ledge. Like I said, I didn't space it very, very well, so I land on the stage instead, which is a big opportunity for him that he did not get. Kind of a bad rush from me there. He already had the banana out, I couldn't punish, and the banana was already coming out of me by the time I got there, so I should have just let him have the banana back up and try to contain space. Kind of a bad... So this is kind of a bad situation for me. I've expected the jab to grab, which is not airtight from Fiddycon, not from many characters, I don't think, and choose to roll away to get behind him to get a better position. It actually put me into the banana, which I tripped on, but fortunately, since the banana is so close to the ledge, it actually pushes the banana off stage. So, despite the fact that this puts me in a pretty terrible spot, it actually gets rid of his banana, and he no longer has control of it. And now this is exactly where I want to be in this situation. Getting him in tech chases, where I have control on stage, whenever he doesn't have a banana, is a really good position for Roy. Good DI from the back air. I did see the back air coming, so.
How is this man still alive? How is this man still
Okay,
alive?
so this situation right here is actually a fairly normal spot for me to cover, because a lot of times Diddy Kongs want to, similar to space animals, whenever they get, if they have a double jump, they'll double jump up to this position directly, horizontal to the stage. Because from there, they can either side B and go for the ledge, they can side B and go for U, they can start up B and then go high, they can start up B and then charge it and then go low, or like end the up B right here to try to get on stage. So this is generally whenever the spot where they want to start their stuff, right here. And it's pretty easy for me to run off stage and cover that spot with a forward air. So that's what I do. And now he's actually in a pretty bad spot because he didn't have the double jump. So he needs to up B immediately. He can't reliably get to the ledge because there's a good chance I'll be covering it. So he wants to get on stage, which is a pretty easy situation for me to punish. He gets kind of saved by the platform. Really good DI in the back there will still make it so we survive. And at this point in time, Junebug's kind of getting the jitters. Tries to set up the banana, but doesn't set up the banana edge guard very well. Like in this situation, since he double jumped and he jumped out, used his double jump, and then pulled the banana, but he did it too late. So by the time that he was done with the banana pull, I'm already like close enough to the stage to be up-B'ing him out of his up-B, and then he's in a really bad spot, which ends up with me converting and killing him. Junebug will take it right back, which isn't too surprising, honestly. Like, there were a lot of situations where he could have ended the game. He could have beat me. He probably thinks that he should have beaten me here. So, yeah, not too surprising considering he... Pretty good side B to punish the forward smash whiff there. Still, like, a little bit of jitters coming from the last game. Really good combination from Junebug here. So yeah, the neutral air down tilt down smash was really good. So the neutral air weak hit put me up just high enough in the air that the down tilt would finish and I'd be out of hit stun, but I'd still be falling from the air to the ground, and that puts me in a really weird spot where like I can't shield. And it's like if I jump, I could potentially get hit by something and die. So he sticks out a quick down smash, and that catches me trying to, I don't know if it's fast fall to the ground or just crouch cancel, but that does kill me.
Let's pretend that this round started with 3 stocks, shall we?
It looked like he was shielding there in anticipation of me crouch canceling the jab and then down tilting. But I didn't actually crouch cancel. I wasn't prepared in time. But he slips away, grabs the banana again, sets up good pressure. Yeah, that down air is not actually safe on shield from Diddy Kong. Getting pretty good conversions off up throw. Okay, I wasn't actually sure if I lost my double jump there. I imagine Junebug wasn't either. Which is one of the reasons why I could set up the double jump to stall out his edge occupancy. Good dash dance banana. That right there, I was actually hoping to tech off the banana peel so that I could up B again, but I screwed it up. I might have actually been able to forward smash there, but yep, and that neutral B will push him out far enough.
But it's okay. He's fine. Dead even once again. June right off the bat getting a nice
good up tilt to pressure the platform, makes it so my fall through doesn't work. And yep, right here. This is actually really smart by Junebug. He doesn't use the strongest throw that he could do. For you guys who don't know, there are actually different strength item throws. I don't know exactly how many there are. I know there's like the pressing the button whenever not holding the direction at all. There's like tilt throws, smash throws, which is also the same for like in the air. And so if he had done the strongest banana throw that he could have, it would have went above me. I would have been able to fall beneath it and get to the ledge. But it looks like here he just used like the standard banana throw jab, essentially, where he's not pulling any direction at all, which has a much lower arc, which does actually fall fast enough to clip me out of my proper spacing for LB.
And he's got the stock just like that. Junebug, he started off so shaky with an early SD, but look at him. He is one stock away from just going to game 5.
Cancel, punish there.
Incredible. He's been taking.
Missed a big opportunity there. I could have either followed up the down tilt. I chose to try and go grab the banana instead, but actually screwed up the wave dash spacing to pick it up.
Here's the next one. Peanut gun, avoiding it. Get the dash attack. He's looking for a setup.
Pretty unsafe down air there, but fast enough that the down air didn't punish.
Sethlon was able to pick up that banana peel. A little bit. He has the grab. Nice down tilt.
No, I actually caught him with the down tilt before he hit the ground. If he had managed to tech, it would have been much harder to try and land the down tilt. He could tech in place, he could tech behind me, he could tech away. Now, and you see here again the down throw is set up to trip through the shield invulnerability. Not invulnerability, but shield to trip around the shield to poke it, since it hits so low in the shield. You can still be tripped whenever you're in a shield. So back to essentially the same situation as the last game, where I'm at hyperset and I need to rack damage up and get him to kill percent before he can finish me. Now, this is actually interesting. So he throws for the first time, but the banana gets pushed back. I'm not actually sure why. It might have been because I was still invulnerable from when I was standing up from the ledge, but Junebug picks it up again and throws it downwards again. And this time, it does do what I would normally expect it to do, which would be trip me, and he gets the down smash punish.
We're going to game 5! We are going to game 5! And just like that, with great heal play, comes great responsibility? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. With great heal play leads to great conversions.
Let's see.
Leads to a game.
So, yeah, game 5. I used my... I counterpicked Green Hill Zone already. And... so I have all of these stages open. I don't really like WarioWare against Diddy Kong. In the past, when I played Luck on it, it's actually really difficult to do things to him whenever he's up on a platform, because he can set up the banana pole on the platform itself. And it's kind of difficult for Roy, like I mentioned, to effectively attack an opponent above him. And on top of that, Diddy Kong can still hang out on the platforms and like drop with forward airs, drop with the dash attack off the platform, which can convert into some really, really nasty stuff. So, despite the fact that I could potentially finish him early with forward smashes, it's kind of an unsafe pick. Instead, I pick Yoshi's Island. So the reasons why I like this stage. So Roy's actually got a pretty good movement speed. Like he's not as fast as Marth, but he's pretty close, which means that he can use this big space pretty well. And in some situations, against projectile characters, the small dip in the stage is actually a help, because it helps Roy get down and under them. Because he's got a really low crouch, really low run, really. So against characters like Falco that'll be shooting lasers, it's more likely I'll be able to crouch underneath them, and the same situation applies to Diddy Kong with his bananas and peanuts and such. Another reason that I like this stage is this platform right here. A lot of characters have throw combos on Roy, whether it be down throws into things or like up throws like Marth and Diddy Kong into stuff. And this platform will eventually stop those. It might not stop them immediately, but a lot of times, say like Ganon chain grabbing you, I will eventually be able to land on the platform and get away with it. Wario up throws me, I will be able to DI onto the platform, especially if it's slanted, and tech onto it, and it'll be a tech chase situation instead of him just reacting to my DI and comboing me. Additionally, the ledges are slanted just a bit, which makes it so that it's a bit harder to hit Roy out of his up B whenever he's sweet spotting. And it also makes it so that Roy can stand on the slant and reach much lower with F smash and down tilt. So let's get into this.
He loves this stage. He's done so much work. Yes. Many times. Now,
that was actually a really good play by Junebug. Short hopping over the down tilt to get the banana peel out.
That's it. That's the whole shebang.
Nice up smash out of shield there to cover just a little bit behind him.
It puts Sethlon into losers, and now the bracket is reset, and we have one more set.
Yeah. So I actually set up a pretty crafty down air here by full jumping up in front of him and baiting the shield grab, but double jumping immediately so it'll whiff. Setting up the down air, which would be really safe on shield from this distance since they'll be so far away and so far below him. But he's still at like 25%, so we can crouch cancel the down air. Really good turnaround, the dash grab there from Junebug, trying to set up the banana, edge guarding. Can't really get much out of it. He's got a pretty consistent percent lead here. And he sets up the side B grab again. I actually wasn't sure if I would be too high for that one this time. And tried to go for the wall tech, but didn't time it correctly. Pretty good coverage on the ledge jump from me. So here, one of the fun things of knowing all the quirks on these stages is I play them so often. So normally, this would be unsafe, because, you know, he just grabs me, and then I'm close enough for the shield grab to connect. But, because of the way that this stage works, I'm actually a little bit above him, and because of the fact that my forward smash pulls me back a little bit, it puts me a little bit further away than one would normally expect, especially with pushing him downhill with the hits of the neutral air, which is enough to dodge the grab and get the F smash.
There by Sethlon, punishing that whiff grab. He is right back in this game. We are dead even. Okay.
Yeah, up smash pretty good at covering the stuff on the platform. It's just low enough that it can hit with its tip, which doesn't really do much if your opponent DIs out of it, but a lot of times they won't. Yeah, it looks like he's tried to set up the side B grab again here. But instead of double jumping high, or double jumping low and setting up the up B, I double jumped to go directly to the ledge, which he wasn't prepared to punish. So he does the kick to still get something out of it, but it's not much. And here, so back air doesn't sweet spot, doesn't really get a good hit on him. And we're put at what's basically the perfect distance for Roy. He can't really do much. Diddy Kong can't do much in this position. Like, he might be able to forward tilt me, but forward tilt isn't a move that Diddy Kongs are generally used to using since it doesn't have too much reward. So he tries to down tilt to try and, like, if I had done anything except for down smash, like if I had side beat at him, if I tried to dash grab him, if I tried to turn around and down tilt, his down tilt probably would have beaten it since I would be moving into this space. Into this space where his hands are actually touching. But since I forward smash, my hurt boxes are still back here. And by the time Roy's stepping forward into where those hitboxes would cover, his down tilt is already over. Pretty good example of a counter poke. And here you can see the what I'm talking about with Roy being able to edge guard below the stage with the slants. See, normally it would be straight out, but here it's down a little bit below the stage. So pretty difficult for Diddy Kong to sweet spot below that. I know most characters technically can, but it's difficult. Yeah, a little bit of a missed time on the forward air from me while he's still vulnerable. Pretty fortunate of Randad to be there for me whenever I'm trying to recover. A little bit greedy there for me. I could have gotten a lot more off of this. In this situation, I could have gone for a down tilt to try and beat out whatever move he put out. I could have gone for a forward air and then potentially more forward airs afterwards off stage to rack up more damage. I could have actually just forward smashed him What I tried to do is run off stage to get the falling up air, which probably would have set him up for a really good situation, because it would have knocked him up. He was DIing in, so he'd be like right here on the stage, and then I could have jumped up with more up airs and potentially got huge amounts of damage. But too greedy. He nares me out of it. I was a little bit too far away from the edge of the platform to get that. Yep, and that time I was pushed too far out to save my double jump. I had to use it immediately to get the proper distance, and the banana covered my trajectory pretty well. Yep. Barely missed the down smash there. Only get the tip on the down air. If I'd gotten the sweet spot, probably would have gotten the forward smash. Kind of a poor edge guard in his uppy, but it's difficult sometimes to get to the ledge on this stage because of the lip.
Sethlon, one stock away. He can do it. He can definitely do it. There's a one more stock champ.
Junebug doing a good job of controlling his banana, using it as an opener to dash in. Getting pretty aggressive now. He's not zoning anymore. He's definitely trying to rush in and put on damage and get my stock finished quick. Oh, you see here an example of what I mentioned. Normally, there would be no way I would get out of this beat up. Like, there's a very small spot where I can be crouched and be under it, which I believe happened on the first game, or one of the games in the past. But because of the dip on this stage, I'm able to actually just clear run underneath it. Yeah, so one of the habits most Roys will do is they want to cover the tech in place with down tilt, because that's the best option that they can possibly get off of a tech chase throw. Like, if you think, at this percent, technically F smash is like a harder hitting move, but he's only at 19%. There's no way that's going to kill him unless he does the worst DI known to man. And so Roys want the down tilt on Wake Up. If you look at Roy players and you watch them play, a lot of times they're going to be greedy and cover at least one option with down tilt and try and just pressure afterwards, which is not always optimal. Like in this sort of situation, whenever I've got the stock lead, I'm probably going to be dying soon, but I've got the stock lead. So my objective right now is not necessarily to kill him. I'm not expecting him to die off of this tech chase. I don't need him to die off this tech chase. What I really should be doing is just playing for damage, trying to tech chase him safely, get as much damage as I can off of it, whatever that may be, and then go into my next stock with that advantage. So instead of being greedy and covering the tech in place with down tilt, and then trying to chase afterwards, just wave dashing up and waiting. And if you do that, Roy can cover basically all tech options if you do it correctly. If they tech in place, it's pretty easy just to grab. If they tech away, dash grab. If they tech behind you, dash grab. It doesn't cover no tech as well, since then you have to worry about getting hit by the get up attack while still covering all options. But if they are actually going to tech, then just wave dashing up, and then just on reaction dash grabbing, dash jump cancel grabbing at where they're going to go. Pretty easy to lock down their tech that way. So I do that here to try and just put on some damage. Don't get too much damage off of it, but that's not too big of a deal, as long as it's damage. Pretty unsafe air dodge from Junebug. Get more damage out of it, and see, this is what I want. Getting killed in 130, that's okay. He's at 80%. At this point in time, a non-DI'd F smash will kill him. Almost get it there. I could have killed him there, but so let us break this down a little bit further back. So I want to cover lots of options actually with forward smash here. Since the forward smash will be reaching about this far down, it'll pretty well cover double jumping to the ledge. If he tries to side B to the ledge, if he tries to side B me, the forward smash will catch him and he'll die. He doesn't actually do any of those. Instead, he goes for the glide toss, which I did not expect. The sword will eat through his banana throw. Does not actually tip on the F smash, so he doesn't die. Kind of a misplay by me here. If I had focused on edge guarding instead of trying to grab the banana, I could have potentially just ended the game right here and now, with either ledge hop back airs or just forward smashing his up B.
I tried to cover it with forward air in the last moment, but not good enough. The forward air whiffs, which actually puts me in a pretty bad spot, because if I try to still stay in this position and edgeguard him, this is really close to the ledge. This is not as much safety room as I want. He can double jump up and forward air me. He could get up attack and just hit me. He could do all sorts of bad, mean things that hurt Roy that I don't want to happen, including jump up and side B, which is actually the option that Luck chooses a lot of the times whenever he's on the ledge, is to jump and then side B, because it's pretty good, because it's a big enough grab box that it will trade with a lot of attacks and beat them because of grab armor. It's also a very long duration on a grab, so it's difficult to spot dodge on reaction or even in anticipation. Excuse me. So I decide to give room. I just wave dash backwards, and I see that he's starting up an up B, or not an up B, sorry, the side B grab, as I'm wave dashing backwards. And so it's pretty easy, since I've trained myself to react to that playing against Luck so much, to react with forward smash and finish the stock. And that concludes Aftershock Grand Finals. Hope you other Roy players could learn some stuff. If you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments or on Twitter. As always, if there's something you think I could have improved, done better, any suggestions you want to make, any recommendations for future matches to analyze, feel free to drop me a message. I'll see you guys next week.